Good morning, guys and dolls. So I've had Lucky. Lucky's upstairs and tired, as you can imagine. So Katie's going to the horse this morning, so this will be the first time Lucky's woke up with me. So that'll be interesting. Hope you're all good. Saturday morning, just having a wee football bet. I haven't been doing the football since Lucky's came along, to be honest with you. One girl. But yeah, just we'll be bringing a wee video later about Tommy. Got a couple of wee clips to bring, so that'll be interesting. Put my take on it. I've got my eye on America, so I do. So bringing wee bits, anything I think's relevant in America, I'll bring that to you with the relevant links to the videos and stuff. But yeah, definitely. I think America's our only ally right now. I think the problem in the rest of Europe, guys, is they've got their own problems. And that is why we're only seeing help from America. And America's dealing with so much as well right now, and I imagine it's going to take America about a year to get running right and to be able to start concentrating and helping out other patriots around the world. Because let's be honest, there's no difference between us and our American friends like Dan. I might try and get Dan on again with one of the January 6th boys. That would be interesting. I'll give him a wee message, so what will do, guys. See if we can get Dan on again, and well, if we can bring somebody else on, and I'll just let them batter away. Be interesting. You know what I mean? Interesting to find out what it was like being arrested, being part of all that. If I did do that, I would set these up with a wee video to watch, so I would, that you would find really interesting. Because I think you'd need a wee bit of backstory for. I know most of you all know about them raiding the Capitol. Whenever they took over the Capitol, whenever Trump lost the election. Because unless you're on the ground, guy, you know what I mean. I think everybody's looking around, going, how did that happen? And there was definitely electoral fraud. You know what I mean. And when you've got, this is the thing, right? This is what's really important, and what's going to be very important going future, I think, in Great Britain, guys. I think it's very important that we be very careful who we have in certain positions, because, as we're rolling up these elections, I've got no doubt in my mind the far left councils that are in charge at the minute will, I've got to be careful what I say, but could be unfavourable. Could be unfavourable. I'm going to leave it at that. I think the opportunities for people that are in power, are obviously a lot more less scrutinised than the people that aren't in power. And I know that might sound crazy, flip side and all that, but you got to understand who I'm talking about doing the scrutinising. You know what I mean? We don't have anybody in there. So the Labour government's in charge. You know what I mean? It's all down to the Labour government. Everything goes back to the Labour government. Everything goes back to Starmer. It goes back to Cooper. It goes back to Rachel from accounts. It goes back to Lammy. These are the people that are safeguarding us. These are the people that will be safeguarding any future elections. Okay, these are the people who will be safeguarding who can vote in these elections. Which is very important, very, very, very important. And I think because of them bringing down the age group for voting, the far left think that's gonna work in their favour. And yes, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago it would have, without a doubt. We had a society, I don't know what it was, but we were doing so well. Everybody was doing so well. And I don't know if people just drop the ball as far as parenting is concerned, or I don't know, maybe parenting got a wee bit stricter because of the internet. And but I do believe that the anger from the youth came from the parenting, without a doubt. The push against whatever the parents were for, which in most cases was family and culture, tradition. We're all Generation X. This is who we're talking about. And the ones before. It goes back a wee bit, like. And I do think that there was a wave of youth in a time of life that did go towards the left. And obviously the hope not hate and racism, all these places, trade unionists, they went into the universities and they made sure that these young kids had somewhere to go, basically, had a direction, sort of brought them, took an opportunity. Took an opportunity, that's what they did. Tell them this is the right way and the only way, you know what I mean? Them ones over there are all racist, so obviously that's taken a wee while to, people are all struggling now, everybody's struggling, and people are starting to get angry. When people aren't as happy anymore, you see, we haven't got as much. So families aren't as happy anymore. And children are seeing their families struggling. They're seeing the struggles of life now. And they're seeing the damage that the left are doing. They see this. They see us struggling just with economy, like trying to feed, trying to clothe, trying to heat. Right, that's clear. Everybody's affected with that up and down the breadth of our country. Nobody's untouched, and no working man is untouched. Let me tell you, okay. And at the end of the day, you know that has an impact. That has an impact on youth. There's no two ways about it. So we like this is like sociology, guys. This is when I say these about getting into sociology. This is what sociology is. This is the kind of thing that sociology that they look at. This is like what the government look at. Social policies are built on this kind of what people would be talking and looking into. Why was the youth then that way? Why are the youth now? And then when they can understand it, then they can control it. You see, that's what that's all about. So it's always good that we understand exactly that as well. As I think it's important that we level up. Everybody has to level up, understand exactly what's going on in the world, in our country, basically, not the world, our country. It's time to concentrate, take our eyes away from the world because we're not doing so well anymore. This is when we were doing okay. We could give money to charity and Band Aid and Live Aid and Oxfam and the Smartens. You know what I mean? And we were really generous. You must see the difference. You know what I mean? We're all givers. That's who we are. That's who the British people are, and you know that's not happening anymore. There's so many things are changing in Britain. So getting back to the youth vote, guys, you see, where Labour have been focusing on the youth vote for so long, and basically having things in place to target the youth, it's not working anymore because what they're trying to argue that's good for the country is obviously showing everybody that it's not. You don't need to be very educated now to work out that irregular immigration is destroying the country. The infrastructure is struggling alongside two major things, and one is the cost of living, and two is the Labour Party coming in the power. Th- that recipe is like, and it's not long term disaster, and it's not like it's terrible things happening really rapidly, really quickly. And this is what's coming. This is why one of the reasons as well I'm plodding away with the videos and just trying to get any awarenesses out at all as a father. That's all I'm doing, guys. You know, that is my main focus. Really, really worried for my daughter, not knowing how long I'm going to have left, and trying to get as much help as possible from anywhere. And yeah, and no, trying to bring what I know for what it's worth, how small it might help. It might help. Walls are made with lots of wee bricks. There's no two ways about it. Good strong walls are made with lots of wee bricks, guys. You know. Um, so yeah, bringing the age of voting down is going to be okay for us because I can see what's happening. You know, the cost of living, Labour Party pushing irregular immigration, and along with them putting in the cuts and putting the taxes up and doing that to the farmers, letting the WASPy women down. There's more and more cuts going to come. More and more people are going to be affected. You know, what I mean, this is going to hit everybody. You know, adult disability, they're going to get hit. You know, social benefits are going to be hit eventually because they just won't be to have the money. They will not have the money. You know, um, I would like to think they're going to start with the people that have just come in the country, but I've got a funny feeling they're going to start with us. You know, when they start cutbacks, and that's the truth, guys. You know, we are always going to be easier targets for our government. We're always going to be easier to maintain. You know, you understand? There's no two ways about it. Um, we don't have we don't have community. You know, how many people do you know talk to their neighbours these days? You know, there's nothing. Everything's the opposite to their community. You know, so that's why our government will appease them. That's why our government are a wee bit scared because of the numbers they can bring out onto the streets. And you know they do have a voting bloc. There's no two ways about it. And as Nigel Farage has told you, it's rising. I don't know how many percent. I'm not even going into it, but it's frightening. It's frightening. You know, when you do them maths, that all these people are just thrown out and like as if it doesn't. You know, yeah, it is. It comes across. It's just sad. You know, and that's it. You know, everybody goes, oh, you know, nobody actually sits down and does the math. You know, it's like I feel that the people in power don't need to do the math because they won't be here. This is what I honestly truly believe, guys. This is why they're so blind, as far as I'm concerned, how they can't see what they're doing. You know what they're doing to Great Britain, and why have they changed their feelings about Great Britain so much? What's happened to them? You know why? What's going on? It's almost like they've been offended. It's like somebody's hurt them. You know, doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. Um, and a lot of people will say on the left, you know, there's no borders and all that, you know what I mean? And, you know, they have as much right to stay here and become, say, they're British as we have, you know. And, you know, I do understand what they're saying, but my biggest problem with all that is I can't do that anywhere else in the world, you know. There's no countries around the world, especially the countries that they came from, are going to accept me like that, you know. And other countries that are more suited for them, more suited for their religion, don't want them, you know, or they don't want to go there because they can't get away with what they can here, and that's clear. You know, it doesn't take a rocket science to work out why they've chosen to come here out of all the Muslim countries in the world, where they practice their own religion. They want Sharia courts. They can get Sharia courts, Sharia law. You know, it's there, but they want to come here and change our bit. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. So any people from the left saying, you know, well, no borders and all that. Well, yes, fair enough. But why here? Think about it. You're not stupid. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, the only thing I can think of, guys, is it's alternative motives. It's really bad reasons. You know, they choose something because they can get away with things. They can do things there. We've got the softest police force in the world, you know, run by the softest government in the world to the world, but the hardest to their people. The only other governments you can say that about is China, Korea, you know, Russia way back in the day. You know what I mean? Seriously, like, it's like the way we talk, people are talking about Britain, the way everybody's looking at Britain right now. The people are absolutely shocked, dismayed, and horrified of what the British people are going through. So please never forget that. I'm not going to go on. This isn't going to be a big video, guys. But please never forget that today, that everybody around the world, everybody, all Western civilization are looking at Britain right now in horror. You know, yes, Germany, Sweden, some of these countries, we all, us patriots, me, I've seen it. I've seen it when Angela Merkel opened the borders. And I knew what was coming, and we can see. You just need to Google Germany and terror attacks and Germany and SAs and and you'll just get a wealth of absolutely horrifying information. And that's been going on for the last 10 years. I can't remember when it was when she made that statement telling everybody that they were welcome in Germany without any care for the actual people, and it is difficult because there is good people there, but at the end of the day, you've got to protect your own. It doesn't matter. I keep saying you got to protect your own. You know, um, there shouldn't be one single child affected in this country. There should not be one. Never mind the hundreds of thousands that there is, and it's like, we've got to go with this mentality of there should not be one. You know. Um, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that our nation is sitting back while this is happening. And please believe me, it's not a tap where you can just turn off. Just because everybody's talking about it, please do not think for 1 minute that has stopped it. It'll only put it underground. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, there won't be anybody to give evidence in the future. I'm telling you now. I've seen and I know a lot of things that I can't say on here. And with what I know, I can bring to you as a man, as a father, as a human being. I know within my heart, 110%, that logically going forward, I doubt very much we're going to see many more up to date grooming gang trials, because I truly believe there won't be witnesses. And that scares the life out of me, because I know when I was small, I could have disappeared 100 times and nobody would have ever batted an eyelid. And that's no word of lie, and that's not about being poor me. That was always a worry of mine. It always was. I always knew nobody would miss me. So I always had to have that in mind. I always had to make sure people knew and seen me, And that's probably something to do with my behaviour, because I knew the risk, because I knew the stories of what was happening. I knew there was kids going missing that were going over to London. They weren't coming back. And we knew that as facts, as kids. You know, as a very young child, yes, it was a wee bit like a scare story, but as I got older, you know, you just know. You just know when people, when a story is a scare story, or when there's facts not about. In our society, we know. And lo and behold, as you get really older, you find out, my God, and maybe it mightn't be 100% exactly what you've heard, but if A, B, and C's happening, E, F, G's happening. You know what I mean? So that's just a logical thing, that if you know about these things, you just know how it plays out. And it's a wee bit like this as well. You got to understand the attitude of these men. This is what's very important, is the attitude towards their victims, right? And see this wee girl here, I got nothing for love, absolute love for this wee dog, right? But I know certain people don't like dogs. They really hate dogs. And I also know that some of them people also believe that even though they hate dogs that much, they would put them in a higher pedestal as us. Some of them, some real extremists like ISIS and all that, and Al Qaeda, they really do look down at anybody that isn't a Muslim. It's part of their teachings, and this is the extremism of it all. You know what I mean? But that has been seen. The extremism, hatred of somebody because of who they are, the racism. This is what we're talking about. This is racism. I can't get my head around it. I say there's no such thing as racism. And I've said this for a long time, guys. There's no such thing as racism. You cannot hate another person because of the color of their skin. And maybe it's more a religious thing. I don't know. You know what I mean? I've got to be very careful what I say. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only, guys. I'm just bringing my opinion of what I see and trying to work out in a humankind way, without hurting anybody. Um, you know, what I think, what I need you to know, or have a wee look into, pay a wee bit more attention to. And I always hope, because I know like Paz watches me now and again, and I've got Gobster, and I know Paul's been on, and I know Richard's wife watches me now and again. So I just hope a wee snippet always goes out to them, and it gives them a wee bit of food for thought, and they can bring that to a bigger platform. And that's, I'm just so happy that, because sometimes I do see wee things that I've said popping up here and there. Just coincidence, probably we're all hanging the same thing, you know what I mean? But, I do like to think that maybe, and that's what drives me. That's what drives me. Just keep going, keep plodding away, try and try and work out how to work out what to do, and yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, it's like it worries me. It worries me just like back in when I was a wee boy, because these kids are so vulnerable. See, some of these kids are problem children. This is what we used to call problem children. So kids like me, broken families, no families, and are looking at attention. Just looking at attention. They're wanting love. They're missing their children. They're fucking children. Guys, it breaks my fucking heart. It really does. Like, I fucking struggle with this, but I always do. But they're children. Right? I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying, right? And who's going to miss them, guys? With me, I was on the run all the time. I was on the street all the time. People will vouch for me, like the police, fucking a social worker. It was common. I would be away for months and months and months, especially during the summer, especially over marching season. And you know, every now and again I would get lifted or something would happen, and member of staff would see me because I would still be in my area. There would be loads of sightings of me. I'd be running about. They just never could catch me. And all my mates used to protect me. Give me 2 seconds, guys. All good. All good. Just out the back. Need to get up soon. I think it's about 7:30 now. So I have some second coffee, been up early. Just want to make sure I'm on my game for the baby, you know what I mean? They're all good. Everything's good. So getting back to just what I'm saying is basically, guys, can you understand what I'm saying? I'm going. I know you're clicking it straight away. You get it. You can understand how and why people won't miss kids, especially these type of kids, our most vulnerable kids. And that's a big, big concern. That is a big concern. Um, there's a level of stuff going on here that's off the scale that I've never seen in my life. Um, it's a level of badness that you know being around badness and in every prison and every fucking country. You know what I'm saying. England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Seen a lot of bad boys, and this is on another level, guys. You know, I mean, I've been in loads of prisons where you've got high profile SA offenders. Some of the most high profile. From like up here. Oh, names, because it's not people you talk about, is it? It's not people you're ever got in your head. You know what I mean? Um, you know, but yeah, I've been around some high profile ones. If you store names up, Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, there was a father in Northern Ireland, you probably remember, tell you some stories about him. And then I was going to say Putin, but it's not Putin, but you know who I'm talking about up in Scotland. He was in when I was in. Um, who else? A couple of times, obviously, there's quite a lot down in England, that was when I was young, but that was when I was 18. But yeah, um, yeah, horrific, horrible man. But even still, guys, I'm talking from experience here. Okay, I know some of you won't have this experience, so there's no way anybody can say this apart from men that spent quite a lot of time in prison. This is off the scale as far as like horrific crimes that we know in Britain. And yes, they do. We did get a grooming gang, like I say, um, at Glasgow a lot. And I want to make a point as well. That you know I've been talking to a lot of guys in Glasgow, and they're saying to me, they're saying they're calling it a grooming gang, but it was just a few junkies take main thing with kids. It wasn't like they were going out of their way, and it wasn't this as big like that. A lot of people were questioning. I'm just telling you what people are saying on the streets of Glasgow. A lot of people were questioning the wording that they used. But with that said, it's very interesting that they got the books thrown at them. 90 odd years. Every one of them were left off for an awful long time. Early for that, isn't it? But early for that, man. That beat my lucky up. Who is it, Kev? What time is it? Sorry, guys. Sorry. He's my mate. We're all mates around here. We have a community, semi sort of community, you know what I mean? Obviously, a lot of people are a wee bit offish, you know what I mean? But, they all say hello and all the rest of it. Time is it, guys? 2 seconds. All good, guys. All good. So, yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up because it's a wee bit of a long video. I'll edit all these wee bits and pieces out. I've just jumped out to find out what was going on. Didn't want Lucky getting woke up, you know what I mean? It's 8:15. It's 8:15. I need to wake her up. Right, guys, but you know what I'm saying anyway. I'm so glad I've got Lucky. And I'm so glad that I've got my wee Lucky that I can go up here and take my mind off everything, guys. Because you need a detox after some of these videos, man. When you go down the road of thinking about stuff, it's an horror, fan. So I'm going to leave it with you and all my love and God bless every single one of you.